Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masterverse Revelation review, and that's right, Wave 10 gives us Clamp Champ, and just take a look at this figure. I'm excited about him. We remember how Clamp Champ and Fisto died in Revelation, and the question is, will they be back in Revolution? Don't know. Don't know how exactly all that played out. We'll find out. But this guy is so cool, and man, I've been on vacation, so this one is a little delayed, but I'm excited about some of San Diego Comic-Con exclusives and things that we saw in the show this year. Are very excited. Oh man, in Cat's Lair. Anyway, we'll do a video about that soon. But I want to check out this dude. Look at that box art on the side. Oh man, he's looking so good there. I love the artwork. And then there is the back artwork, which is so cool. And there are the other figures in this line. I've reviewed all of them except for the Skeletor. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I do not like this Skeletor. Some of you know I have picked and chosen some figures in a wave that I don't do. This is one of those waves. Unless I find him cheap, you know, at Target or, you know, Big Bad Toy Store in the future, probably won't be getting this guy. Just don't see anything about him that I like personally, other than maybe some custom fodder down the road. I've got plenty of Skeletors, but these other figures are awesome. So let's go ahead and check out his bio. If you'd like to pause and read that now, you can. All right, let's go ahead and break open Clamp Champ over here at Castle Grayskull and check him out. And here we are in Eternia, getting ready to take a look at another incredible Masterverse figure. This time, another one from Revelation series. I love partnering my gargoyles, which in my universe, they're part of Eternia, a race of beings, maybe even Gar, because of the color of their skin, the Gar race, like Skeletor's mother would have been. I know some of them are purple here, but I love these women. Their muscularity, just check it out. They're buff. They don't play. And they're beautiful in the face. So I pretend that these are good guys. But anyway, here we have Gargoyles and Orko. There's our Mythic Legion Scarletros. I usually use him in my King Grayskull time period, but I just wanted to show him off with those wings that I've attached to him. Those are Mythic Legion wings, but they did not come with that figure, but I just think they look wicked on that parrot-looking action figure. He goes way back, so you can't get him anymore except for on the aftermarket eBay. Here is our Clamp Champ. And let's first take a look at his accessories. And first taking a look at Clamp Champ's accessories, he comes with a pair of balled-up fisted hands. They have the bigger pegs like the 40th anniversary figures have been having. So maybe they're going to that, which I think is a good thing. But that's about all that he shares with that line or that model of figure, because the rest of his buck is pretty much the same. But he comes also with his traditional, vintage, and classics style big claw type device and weapon and contraption here, I guess, to be able to fully trap somebody literally with this thing. And one thing that's different about this one, we'll look at it when we get ready to take a closer look in Articulation, that this thing, his arm actually goes up inside of it. So I guess there's a handle up inside of it. It's not just under it like we've seen in the past. So this is a unique piece, certainly different than the others that we've seen. But and then I guess we could include his battle armor, chest armor here, because that is a removable piece. Kind of glad they did that, because some of you who know He-Bro, usually Clamp Champ is a good body to be able to create a He-Bro action figure, and this guy looks like he's going to be perfect for that, as long as that butt looks okay underneath, and we'll take a look at that here in just a moment. But just look at this awesome clamp champ. He just looks neat, and I really like him here. And he comes, of course, with a gripping hand. All of these are horizontally hinged. I'm assuming there is one up inside of his contraption here. But yes, another set of hands that is the gripping hand, weapon holding hand. All right, let's look at his articulation as we take a closer look at Clamp Champ. Clamp Champ is such a cool action figure. He has this piece that will pop off the top of his clamping device, and you see, just like we assumed, there's a handle on the inside with another horizontally hinged gripping hand, so that gives him two of each, like we said. Now there's one difference I've already noticed, that this one has spring action, so you're not going to be able to open these up and get them to stay like that, like some of the other ones have, like the classics would stay. No, it's spring loaded, so you're going to get a nice tight clamp that will fit around the body of any of the enemies of He-Man or Clamp Champ. So that is really cool. And you see the gear work on the inside here. There's like some gears or some, pistons or wiring and different things, I guess you'd call it. But anyway, this is really neat. So you see the inner workings there, as well as on the bottom. You can see it there also. Really neat. And so there are tabs on either side here that correspond with some clamps on the inside. So when you do that, it just pops in place. You hear it pop together, and he's just gonna, the other side didn't pop in place, but there we go. And it is going to be able to wrap around a foe. So let's take a look at that. And so you can see, and when I look at this clamping device, I think kind of the Snake Men era, like a weapon that would be used to capture the Snake Men, like a snake tool. So you can see how it wraps around his waist. I'm sure it could wrap around his neck, or even around his chest to a certain angle, especially some of the thinner Masterverse figures. This is a Classics Fangor, and that is so neat. One of the Super 7 Fangor action figures that they did when Super 7 had the rights to Motu Classics. But man, just look how good they look together as Fangor is fighting Clamp Champ, and he grabs him. He's got him a snake. He's gonna shut him down with that. So that is really cool. And you can see that, really just kind of, you have to open it up and then clamp it around him, because it's spring loaded, and then it'll just pop back off in place there because they're spring loaded. And when you take that off, you can't see the springs, or the mechanism is underneath that other layer. So let's go ahead now and remove his hand from the handle here. And you can see there's like a metal piece that runs through that, so that's interesting. So it's really nicely constructed, this device here. So that's really cool. Has kind of an opening here, so when you connect the two pieces together, it's going to give a look almost like it's got a thruster. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to remove these, but the classics one, you could fold these all the way in and have it, a compact piece. So I don't think there's a way to do that from the way I'm seeing, because I even tried popping this piece off, and I don't think you can without breaking something. And I don't believe there's a screw here either. So you're going to just be left with, when you put it together, it's going to have that length to it, like so. But you can sit it down like that. Clamp Champ beside it, you can see how cool they look and how far up that comes to him, a little bit above his waist. So that's really neat. And just take a look at this Clamp Champ. I mean, he's got the Classics loincloth that looks just like we're used to, as well as the belt looks just like Classics. Even his harness chest armor looks just like the Classics. His head is a little different, and his neck seems a little skinny, and maybe the head sits a little too tall in the neck for my taste as far as how it compares. We'll look at that in comparison to the Classics Clamp Champ as well as He-Bro. But I love those the silver gauntlets, and also love the red and black boot combination, just like Clamp Champ had. You can see the tabs on the back because yes, it is removable, and I'm glad of that. You know, we've seen others like Buzz Off and some others that actually, you know, their chest armor is their buck. And classics, we always got a piece over a piece, you know, a big thick, you know, chest armor over a big thick buck. But it's been different for different figures. But I'm glad they did that with this figure, because this figure has the ability to transform, or at least you can make a custom He-Bro, like a black version of He-Man, but He-Bro, and have a power sword and have a yellow harness. We'll look at that in comparisons as well. But he is so cool. Let's look at his articulation. Of course, he's going to be able to look up about that much, and I'm sure you can incorporate the torso if you wanted to. He's going to be able to look down a pretty good amount. He is not going to get a whole lot of pivot, unfortunately. Maybe a little bit, but not like an extreme amount. You would think with that larger neck. Yeah, I mean, you can get a little bit. Side to side, of course. He's got 360. Bicep swivel is going to get better than 90 degrees. Double jointed elbows that get good range, even with the girth of that bicep. Hinge and swivel at the wrists, of course, and those gauntlets probably are removable. They're like He-Man's, they're glued down, but you could probably break the glue and remove those if you're customizing something. Same articulation on this side. Now up there, there's still that diaphragm, and it is the improved diaphragm joint, so you're going to be able to rotate him at the diaphragm as well as get side to side. He's going to crunch forward, even with the harness on about that much, his chest armor. He's going to be able to bend back also a slight amount. And he also turns at the waist. He's going to get full splits with the legs, thigh rotation. He has double jointed knees that are really tight here, but they're there. And he's going to be able to get boot cut, has boot cut, and then of course he'll be able to kick up a really high amount, very good amount. He also has the ability to go full tiptoes, go up a decent amount. Excellent rockers with the peg hole in the bottom, so all the articulation is present with this guy, and you can remove this chest armor. So I'm trying to figure out how that is accomplished, because these are not, it's not as simple as it looked there. Yeah, it does come loose. Here it is, right here. It is a strap. It didn't look like it was, but it is a strap that comes loose right there on his back. Boy, they're tight, which that's a good thing. But I am going to want to remove mine, because I do want to make a Clamp Champ. Hopefully I can get another one of these soon and do everything I need to do to make a Clamp Champ. But when we take that off, he comes right off over his head. And there you have a normal buck in the black skin tone, which is excellent. Looking really good there. Looking really good. Same exact torso as He-Man. The only difference, like I said earlier, is the fact that this figure has the big pegs for the hands. Look at that broad muscular back. Really, the detail on that black skin. His black skin really helps bring out the details and the muscularity and the shape. Unlike many have said, I wish they had given us the 40th anniversary upper body, that bigger chest. We almost need we need a 40th anniversary version of Clamp Champ so we can really have a buff looking He-Bro, because I don't know what it's going to look like to have the harness on there. Let me just take a look at it right quick and see. And there he is, He-Bro himself. Look at that. I'm not so sure. I might not just do it like that. I may paint the shoulder pads a silver to match his belt and his gauntlets. It's just, you know, really, really good looking, and it also brings out the bulk and the thickness of his chest. So, oh man, I just really, really love this He-Bro. He just looks so neat. Just check that out. Yeah, I may paint these gold shoulder pads a silver to match the rest, but I may leave the rest of it. I mean, I don't know. Let's go ahead and do some comparisons, and we'll look at He-Bro and Clamp Champ Classics compared. And here is our He-Bro. If you go to Todd's YouTube channel, it's titled He-Bro, He-Bro. Todd created this figure. He's the first Christian on Eternia, found a Bible on Queen Marlena's space shuttle when she crashed on Eternia, which ended up being King Randor's wife eventually, and He-Man's mother, and Adora's mother. But he became a Christian. And he not only is powerful like He-Man, but he also is spiritually powerful. That's the reason his power sword is clear, because it's a spiritual sword. Because the Bible says of itself that the Bible is like a sword of the Spirit, a spiritual sword, dividing between joint and marrow, which is, it can affect the physical realm, as well as soul and spirit, which means it can affect the spiritual realm. God's word is like that sword that can be fought on both realms, the physical and spiritual. So that's He-Bro for you. That's kind of a backstory. So I didn't come up with that, but I love it. I love it. As a Christian myself, I love that concept. So yes, this is He-Bro. And He-Bro originally, based on Todd's construction of him or customization of him, gave him a yellow He-Man harness with that same symbol, cross symbol in the middle of his chest. But I'm loving this new look for He-Bro. He has all the same characteristics, except I like this harness on him. And look, I've given him Prince Adam's clear power sword. It's not the yellow tint like we have with the original He-Bro design, but I may do that, because I do have another Prince Adam coming eventually, hopefully in August. So I'm gonna put this clear power sword that comes with Prince Adam with He-Bro, and there we go. I don't know what Todd will think of it. I'd love for him to give his input. I was asking him on a live video the other day, but I don't think he saw it. And I've got to go back and check through his channel to see if he's already answered the question, asked and answered kind of thing. But is he going to make a He-Bro with Masterverse line? I know he is diehard classics, and I'm really becoming more and more a fan of Masterverse here, but still love my classics figures. I mean, just look at this He-Bro. That's Clamp Champ's head and Clamp Champ's body, and then you just use the different harness, and that's what we've done here, and it works. Awesome. So neat. All right, let's get back to Clamp Champ and continue where we were. And here is Clamp Champ versus Clamp Champ. And you can see the differences here of these two things. This one's actually a little bit longer than the Classics one by just a little bit, not a whole lot. And they are designed differently. They look different. And of course, this one is thicker and does not have the handle on the bottom. Whereas this one, of course, has more of some color and some changes, just a lot of detail on this one. Really nice, not as thick, but has a handle on the bottom. And this one had the added feature, if you remember, of being able to fold your clamping pieces up inside of it on the sides there, so it would kind of self-contain. Really neat little, that doesn't move, but it looks like a trigger, and just a nice little piece. So you can see, of course, that there are differences in the harness, but also it's basically staying true to the inspiration of it. There it is from the back. And you can see there's a big difference. We have a piece here similar to what we saw, I believe, in the vintage line, but big piece there that went along with it. This one does not have that. So you see the differences, but the loincloth, the belt, you know, the overall look of this guy is definitely the same, and the inspiration. This Clamp Champ is a little lighter in tone, the new one, than this one. So that is one difference. And of course the face is definitely different. I do prefer the Classics face over this face, but they both look good. Both are good looking heads. You had more of a thicker cut hair here, whereas you have a little bit more of a thinner, the style, the times, you know. And this one's just overall more broad, but that's typical of your, classics, Motu Classics figures. Your Masterverse tend to be a little bit taller, lankier, a little thinner, not as broad, but still you have the bulk, and it looks good. Like I said, I really wish they would have given the 40th anniversary chest sculpt to this guy, and go in that direction. They could, maybe adjust the arm socket so it doesn't look so, when you look at that He-Man that we looked at, it is a little bit of a separation there, but I just love this Clamp Champ. He's looking good. Of course, the Classics Clamp Champ came with this cool piece here as well, and I've got two of these, being that I did buy two Clamp Champs so I could have one He-Bro and one Clamp Champ. But you do see that he could definitely share, if you have two of these, you could definitely share that weapon, or even share your one with this new Clamp Champ if you wanted to make him your definitive Clamp Champ. But I don't know, I really like this Classics Clamp Champ the best, I believe. In this comparison, I have to give the win to the Classics. I mean, yeah, we have pinless tech on the Masterverse line as usual, but still overall. And then of course, you have to give the win to the Masterverse when it comes to articulation, as well as the alternate hands. And then you can decide on whether you like this clamp device that has the spring-loaded pieces that will, close by themselves and really tightly hinge around his foe, or if you like the one where it folds up inside and you can still fold it out, that's neat too. You have some of the gear workings and colors, and you can really see the wires. More detail in the Classics like normal, but this isn't bad either. I mean, they did not do a bad job with this guy at all, with his weapons or anything else. Looks good. Didn't do a bad job at all. So that is your Clamp Champ. And let's go ahead and take a look at him with some other action figures. And there is our Clamp Champ next to Fisto, looking awesome there. These two fought side by side in the Revelation series before they were transformed into skeleton zombie things, minions of Skeletor, because of his power sword powers there. But hopefully they will be able to be redeemed or fixed or delivered in Revolution. We'll see them again, but these look awesome. They fought side by side, both of them connected with tech and like a man-at-arms and their time, serving at different times and different periods of Eternia and the Palace. So just really cool, and they look great together. And here is our Clamp Champ next to our new Eternia He-Man, looking awesome there. Love these figures. They just look so well posed out together, especially in this scenery. Here just looking good, and there he is also next to our Revelation Andrea, and then the Captain of the Guard Teela, also the way she appeared in Revelation, and then of course also Man-at-Arms, the way he appeared in Revelation. So you see how these really just stand out next to each other here with our Clamp Champ, looking awesome. And here is our Clamp Champ next to our new Eternia Ram Man, and I've got that cool looking helmet on him that prepares him for battle, and you can see how he's looking next to these guys, just looking excellent. Love that Ram Man in the Masterverse style as well. You can check out my review on him if you've not done so already. And this Clamp Champ, man, he is just, I like him even better than I thought I would. Like I said, I give the win to the Classics in this scenario, but he has scored some points as well, and with these figures standing alongside his counterpart figures here, he's just looking awesome. There's Buzz Off up there, as well as our Stratos and Cosmic Enforcer, Zodak. Just all these figures are just looking good with this Clamp Champ, and it's just a lot of fun. I do want to check out this Clamp Champ next to more of our Revelation He-Man, so let's check that out first. Alright, I have put paint apps on both of these figures, harnesses and belts and gauntlets, but as you see, there is the original Revelation He-Man with the original head sculpt there alongside of Clamp Champ, and then there's Hordak MX head sculpt, which I think he did a better job capturing the Revelation He-Man look, face-wise, the broad chin, or the, you know, really chiseled out jawline and the eyes and the hair. You know, I think he did a better job than Mattel did as far as capturing the Revelation He-Man. But there are both of those Revelation He-Man figures next to Clamp Champ. And just for fun, here's our Clamp Champ next to our San Diego Comic-Con exclusive He-Man that I did snap on the vintage style classics head to give this awesome figure from last year's Comic-Con with the metal weapons and the more metallic looking chest armor and flocked loincloth. You can check out my review on him. And then of course there he is also with Sunman, and I love that figure. So they look really cool. And I even thought about, what if I made He-Bro but I used the Sunman head? I don't know. Does look like it's similar skin tone. I'll have to double check when I get closer. I don't know. I don't know. There again, seems to be a little bit more of a reddish tone in the pigment of Clamp Champ's skin tone versus our Sunman's. You see it's a little bit more of a brown, whereas there seems to be a tad of more of a reddish tone in his pigmentation there. So that's interesting. So I guess we'd have to stick with Clamp Champ's face for He-Bro, and that's fine. But I just was mentioning that. But they look awesome together. I just love that Sunman. If you don't have him, you definitely need to try to get a hold of him. And his wings, he is just so well made. I added the little jewel, which you can't see. The light's not hitting it just right, but added that little jewel on his belt from Hobby Lobby. Got a hold of those little things just to add some flair to him, and I just love it. I love it. And Clamp Champ looks great beside him and He-Man. All right, thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review. Please come back and see us again soon. If you've enjoyed this video, give us a like. If you've not done so, please subscribe. It really adds and helps to the channel a lot. And comment if you have anything you want to share. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time on another Super Dave review. Here's some photos in the photo gallery.